First of all, I'm not a healthcare practitioner. I'm not a doctor. Really, the point of this special video is to give you some relief from the constant information that's coming across your screens, whether it's TV or your laptops or your phones, about the coronavirus. Now, we're hearing so much information about how to keep ourselves and our health in particular safe, from social distancing to washing our hands. But what are we learning about how to keep our mind safe? So that's what I want to focus on in this particular discussion. And joining me for this discussion is my good friend David Kantey. David is a musician. He's actually an accomplished musician and artist who lives in South Africa. And he's been practicing meditation for over 50 years. As well, he actually teaches both in person and online guided meditation classes. So I've asked David to join me today and talk a little bit about the benefits of meditating and how to really address this situation that we're living through. So thanks for joining me, David.
Thanks, George, and I know Carol is with you, the team. It's incredible that we can be speaking. We're almost halfway around the planet away from you, and here we are chatting live. That's the phenomenon that we live in today.
I know. It is fascinating that we can actually even do this in this day and age. Um, I want to begin with, I guess, there's a lot of anxiety, there's a lot of fear out there. I guess my first question is, how can people get relief in this current situation?
George, it's a question of always a question of choices. We're all inundated with, it's so easy just to get onto Google or any of your apps that we will use for the social media apps and pick up tons of messages. My phone is going ding, 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 ding all day with people sending me some story or something from Facebook, some news update or some doctor talking or some crackpot schemes and so on. And because of my experience now, and I know enough about my own system, my brain, my emotions, my hormones, I know that I need to only allow a certain amount of information in that's needed, that's necessary, and the rest, I don't have to stress myself out unnecessary. It's about choice. The choice is I choose to not have my head in the sand, read. I just actually get on once a day, get up to date with what's going on. But for the rest of the day, I've got a lot that I'm, doing with the businesses that I run, and I'm just focusing on my normal day. So that is a huge stress management system. Definitely there are other ways. And meditation, I've been doing this, as you said, for nearly 50 years now. That's an incredible ingredient to put all my chemicals, the electrical system of my body into a more quiet, calm system. The hormones that cause stress and anxiety, they all get turned down to their proper perspective. And so these are ways of managing our stress, because stress, when you get stressed, you're susceptible to colds and flus. That's the first thing that goes down with stress, is your immune system. In severe cases, you can have people even losing their hair. It's all immune system suppression. And so, people break out in hives. That's an immune system suppression. Those hives live in us. But when our immune system is severely depressed by stress, so the thing that we really need to do is to manage our body systems better. like it's good times. And in the bad times, and they really are tough times, there's no doubt about it. That it's not saying they aren't. It's being real. But I've got to manage my system properly. And I know that meditation is a huge way that keeps me on an equilibrium, that I can, still have a smile on my face for everybody around me. Everybody's moods are swinging all over the show. My wife's a therapist. People are seriously struggling with this. But, to have somebody that's a little calmer, if you're that calm person, and that's what meditation can help you do, then it's a great help.
So let me ask you a little bit more about meditation. I guess you mentioned it can calm you. Can you, without going into a great detail about the physiology, I guess what does meditation do in terms of calming your mind down?
Essentially, George, one of the ways that meditation has been described, and these are not my words, is that it's like rebooting your computer. Sleep is a massive reboot. So we need our sleep. So, people, and this leads around to, the music that I've been developing. People have said to me, my music puts them to sleep. Well, that's fantastic, because a lot of insomniacs are using it just to help sleep well. When we do our meditation practice, and there are four types of meditation that we practice. When we do any of them, we're bringing our brain, our sort of what now we know as our left brain, right brain, into harmony. And that harmony puts our chemicals, move it away from the sort of fight flight centers of our brain, and into our prefrontal cortex, the more evolved part of our brain, let us say, where we have creativity and where our sort of natural wisdom about life, our empathy, all those aspects kick in when our brain is in harmony. And meditation is proven, it's enormous amount of studies have been done from neuroscience proving how potent meditation is. After people starting just doing for 3 months, they can see the neuroplastic effect. In other words, the brain starts rebuilding networks that allow us to have more harmony in our brain. To put it in a very, very simple language, it's all about harmony, relaxation.
So, one of the really interesting things about your meditation practice, and specifically your classes, is that you've incorporated a specific tool, which is your original music. Can you kind of explain how that works?
Well, I've been interested in the musical side of meditation since I started meditating, because I was a young, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed student at University of Cape Town Music School, studying for my Bachelor of Music. And because I just started meditating and I was very excited about what I discovered, and there were three other people at the college who were also doing this, we were sort of trying to hook up by a proper mail, to go by the ships, or if you send it airmail, or go by planes, with people around the world who are beginning to do this. And what I noticed when I played certain music myself and certain instruments, because at those days there was not even things such as, synthesizers and all that kind of thing. It wasn't invented yet. Robert Moog from Ithaca University in the east coast of America had just started inventing the Moog synthesizer, hence the name Moog synthesizer, Robert Moog. So we were doing it with natural instruments, and I was using the guitar and sine wave generators, for enough, to study the effect of music and sound, pure sound, on what it was doing to me. And so I loved this, and I explored it. What we do now know from neuroscience is that when we listen to music, there's no one particular place that they can find where music is listened to. Yes, there's the audio nerves, but the whole brain lights up when we listen. Whereas in any other aspect of what we're using, they can see, there's a sort of visual optical center in the brain and so on. They can see where the audio nerve comes into the brain. But from then on, when you listen to music in particular, the whole brain starts showing signs of responding. And my sort of theory about it is that it's that harmonious effect across the whole brain that allows our stress levels. The brain is sort of telling the body, telling the spinal cord, that it doesn't need those stress principles, the fight, flight, stress hormones, the fight, flight hormones, to be active. There's nothing in the room but harmony, and so we can relax as we did in a cave thousands of years ago. But these days we're living with a saber-toothed tiger in the cave. So meditation, the way of dialing that all out. And music is a very, very potent. I found, particularly when the classes that I teach, using my music, which is designed for harmony and calm and so on, people respond, fantastically. And I teach meditation at a clinic where people are suffering from burnout, just people in the corporate world and so on. And they all sort of are very skeptical, and then we do a meditation with the music, and then suddenly, as it ends, they're sitting there and sort of in wonderment that they can hear the birds for the first time after 12 years.
Well, so through the magic of the internet, we're actually going to give the viewer the opportunity to actually go through a short meditation. And David has been gracious enough to offer his music as well as his guided meditation process, so that you, the viewer watching this at home, can actually hopefully get some of those effects that David mentioned earlier. So without further ado, David, can you start us down that process?
Yes, I'll just say a tiny bit about the process. Guided meditation, or having somebody, you've never done it before, it's very helpful to listen to a human voice just taking you through the steps. So just go with the pictures. I'll do some of the basic elements of how one teaches the first steps of meditation. I'm just using a bit of calming breathing and so on, and then into the pictures that go with the music, and then just go with the pictures. If my voice doesn't fit the pictures, it's just go with the music. The music is far more evocative than my old voice, and then right at the end I'll just bring you back gently, because people sometimes really get very deeply relaxed, so I'll bring you back gently at the end. So the basic way to start all meditations or all of these relaxation processes is just to sit comfortably in however you're sitting, preferably with your spine upright. You have to cross your legs. You can sit on a chair, or if you're sitting on your bed, just lean back and get comfortable. It's about relaxing, not about a posture. And then you just start by taking a few deep breaths and close your eyes. And where I like to tell people is to imagine you sitting just behind your eyes, a little bit up into your forehead, which is where your prefrontal cortex is, where the center of our awareness and consciousness is in our brain. So we just sit there in that darkness, it's a comfortable place to be, in the right place to be, and then just go with the pictures. Take a few breaths, relax, and go with it. Assuming you've taken a few breaths, 2 or 3 deep breaths, which is the way that we'll relax a little bit. And and you're sitting behind your eyes with your eyes closed, then just start listening to the music. You'll hear the sound of whales. Imagine you're sitting on a beach, or if you're from Vancouver or places like that, you could be sitting on a rocky shore. We, in my town, have about 300 to 400 whales visit us every year. So we can sit on the beach and imagine a bay full of whales. They've come here to mate and calve, and we hear the sound of the whales calling to each other. We're sitting with our eyes closed on the beach. It's warm, but not hot, and we can just relax, let everything go, and enjoy the beach. Everybody loves being on the beach. Allow the whole atmosphere, the picture. If you don't have a picture, imagine a long white beach, beautiful crystal clear waters, probably a few seagulls around. You feel safe and comfortable, and you can hear the sound of the whales in the bay. You hear them calling to each other, talking to each other, underneath in the depths. They come up every 10-15 minutes or so for a breath. But for the most part, they're immersed in this beautiful blue world. We've seen enough visuals of the world of whales under the water to know what that looks like. And I wanted you to imagine that you are in the water as a diver, and you're just immersed in their world. You can see their long white fins, their huge long bodies. They are really the giants of the ocean. They're completely comfortable. There's no sense of gravity there. Apart from when they have a calf, they're not bothered by any predator, so they're really at peace in the ocean. And they do sing songs, make sounds to each other. Just allow yourself to relax and to feel what it feels like to be in the ocean and in the world of whales. These huge, by and large, very gentle creatures. If your mind drifts a bit, just come back to the music. Every now and then you'll hear the sound of a whale calling. Immerse yourself in the beauty of the underwater world. Some are nearby, some of them are far away. I want you to imagine that one of the whales has detached itself from the group, and is gliding ever so slowly towards you. It's keeping a distance. It's as curious about you as you're curious about the whale. You can see all its markings. It's a safe distance away from you. There's nothing to fear. You're immersed in this blue world. You can really feel the presence of another intelligence. Feel the presence of another sea creature, but a big one. It's keeping well outside of any reason to be anxious about it. It's just floating gently by, looking at you with their big eyes. The one eye on the side is taking you in, and you taking the whale in. It's probably 20 meters away. It's a female. There's a gentleness about her. And because of feeling the presence of the whale a little bit closer, you also can feel the ocean a bit more. Her sense of the ocean. Then she starts slowly gliding back to the group. And as she leaves you, you feel a slight sense of loss. You realize now it was an amazing moment being near that whale. I'm going to just leave you now. You then just stay in the water, or if you feel you need to get back to the beach. But you're very safe and warm in this beautiful ocean. And the whales are slowly distancing themselves. Just focus on the music for the next few minutes. What did you imagine you're back on the beach, maybe walking along the beach, just taking in the whole atmosphere of what you've just experienced. And the whales are slowly heading away. You're back on land. There still seems to be a sense of connection. But you're back within your own body. There's a warm sense about the whole thing. A calming sense within you. Sense of connection to life, cycles and comings and goings of life. Essentially, you're still here in our bodies. To slowly bring yourself back into your body, back towards the center behind your eyes, up into your forehead a little bit. Find yourself there, sitting on your chair or bed, couch. Breathing gently, become aware of your breath, become aware of yourself in that space. And in your own time, just relax your hands, flex them a little bit, and in your own time you would move your hands first and then your feet. Open your eyes. So that's a very short meditation process. It's about possibly at most 14 or 15 minutes. And hopefully it gave you a slight taste of the kind of relaxation that this can bring to your life, no matter where you are.
So hopefully that was an enjoyable experience for you and gives you just a little bit of a taste of what meditation can actually do to calm your mind. Thanks again to my guest, David Kantey. Now, I've asked David, in addition to doing this, to actually offer some additional classes for people who are genuinely interested in meditation and what it can actually do for you. And he's actually offered to do an additional 2 free classes. So for those of you watching this that are actually interested, I would ask that you would, if you're watching this on Facebook, to just direct message me. If you're watching this on YouTube, to either just make a comment that you would be interested in that, and I can message you directly, or you can just directly message me through YouTube. So I hope this was a good experience for you, and thanks again for joining us.